Really winging it on the spur of the moment. Apparently Karen Drucker didn't want to appear with us this morning, so you would have heard breathe, but that's what I get for not checking the soundboard prior to. Cece should have taught me better.
It's what's known as an awkward moment.
Yeah. So here we are, day after Easter. What now? What now? We go through this process of Lent, and Lent is about examining where we are. It's this period of examination that we face in life, either by willing choice or by circumstance. It's a period of really getting clear on what we believe, what serves us and what doesn't. Often these moments come up for us when obvious things no longer work. Often they come about by crisis and turmoil. They don't have to. And the more conscious we become, the more willing participants we become in the process, the less drama we have to go through to get there. And it is possible to just be sick and tired of the drama and refuse to participate and stop experiencing it. It's possible. It's difficult, but it's possible. I'm successful sometimes, most of the time, a growing percentage of the time. Sometimes drama's just fun, let's face it. Sometimes it's just fun to throw things. You know, what can I say? But the crucifixion story, at a very, very deep level, is our story. It's the experience that we have of life on this planet. And the crucifixion story is not complete. It's not done without the resurrection. The only reason it's remembered at all is for the resurrection. The awakening of a new us. What changed? Well, not really a lot and everything. Easter is often compared to the story of the caterpillar and the butterfly. Caterpillar wraps himself in a cocoon, and in the cocoon his body completely dissolves. In this process of metamorphosis, his body turns into jelly. And it rearranges itself and comes out a completely different form. Now he's sealed in the cocoon. Nothing is added. Nothing is taken away. Everything the butterfly needed to be the butterfly already existed in the caterpillar. It's just all the same stuff, rearranged. After the resurrection, Jesus appeared to all of his followers and to his disciples. In the resurrected consciousness and in a greater, deeper understanding of who and what we are. One notes in the one song that is the universe, intended and intentional by this creative force that is life, this God, whatever you want to call it, this incomprehensible one that creates and sustains all things. And once we awaken to this idea that we're intended, that we're on purpose, that we're connected to all that is, once we can let go of the fear that tells us that whatever it was that created you is standing off to the side, waiting to see if you do it right, and prepared to punch it if you don't. Once we answer Einstein's question, you know, Einstein said we all must answer fundamentally one question: is the universe a safe place to be or not? Once we answer that question for ourselves in the affirmative, I'm intended and on purpose. I am loved. I do matter. The universe would be incomplete without me. This one song without my note. incomplete, discordant, something missing. Once we awaken to that understanding and really start to get it deep down inside, not intellectually, but emotionally where it counts, we experience this resurrection, what happens? That resurrected consciousness comes back to all of the parts of who and what we are. It collects to itself all of those parts of our consciousness. Charles Fillmore talked about them as the 12 powers, the 12 faculties of the human mind. Our ideas of faith, our wisdom, our sense of discernment or judgment, our sense of order and process, our very sense of life itself, our ability to love, all of these abilities that constitute our thinking, feeling nature, he said, are quickened. Quaint, turn of the century word for enlivened, reawakened, empowered. Just like the caterpillar, nothing is added and nothing is taken away. All of the parts have always been there, but they are rearranged. They take on new meaning and new purpose. They're filled with a new vitality. We see the world in a different way. Caterpillar crawling on the leaf or the bark or the ground, wherever he finds himself, all of a sudden one day launches into flight from the cocoon. Can you imagine what a shock that must be? I was there, now I'm here, and what is this? Everything needed for the caterpillar to be a butterfly is always there. Rearranged. Taken for new purpose, given new meaning, given a fresh life in a new form. It even looks different. And it experiences the same life from a completely different perspective. No longer inching himself around the ground, now fully in flight. Carried on the winds over thousands and thousands of miles, the monarch, as small and fragile and beautiful as it is, carried on the winds from central Mexico to almost Canada and back. On those little fragile wings that just one simple touch will disable. Yet millions upon millions of them make the trip. Places you can go in the highlands of central Mexico, and the pine trees that go just on that mountaintop are filled to where there's none of the tree visible at all. All you see is just this tower of monarchs reaching into the sky. So what happens after the resurrection experience? Well, you fly. What happens? You recollect everything that's always been with you. You see the point, the purpose to every experience you ever had. You understand that everything that went before served a purpose. That everything that went